Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Today, we're breaking down the hero's path that is part of the UDK's Birthday Titan Event, right? This bizarre hero's path that actually gives Roxam as a final reward, although Roxam is apparently not good enough to feature on the artwork for the event. Bit of a slap in the face. And speaking of slap in the face, the point requirements for this event, guys, they are just through the roof. So if we jump over here to Photoshop, so I've put the whole thing into one place so you can see it and it's hopefully fairly clear. Let me show you here the path through. So if you want to get down to Roxam, right, you have to get past this 2-key lock, which means you need to get the 2 keys. There's one over here and one over here. That means we need to go these paths. This is for what I would recommend to be the path to go get Roxam, which, by the way, I do not recommend you do this. Probably don't do this. But this is what you would do if you wanted to. Coming down this side, get some of these UDK points, because why not at that point? We come down, we grab the key. We do the same thing on the right-hand side, and then we go down the middle, and we get a sort of a weird child's drawing of an elephant, perhaps. Or maybe something a bit dirtier if you're very crooked. What are the costs of this? Very high is the answer. So 13,000 points for this left-hand path, 15,000 for the right-hand path, and then the middle path is 114,600. That's giving you a total cost of 142,600 points. Now, how do we get points? Well, the main way to get points from this event is from shards. Void shards giving you 1,100 points. Sacred shards giving you 4,500 points. Now, to put this in sacred shard terms, seeing as Roxam is a champion that you would pull normally from ancients and sacreds, to do 142,000 points, it's almost 32 sacred shards. It's 31.7 sacred shards. So let's say roughly speaking, it's 30, because you're gonna pick up some points from dungeon divers along the way. Dungeon divers is usually getting artifacts and accessories. I haven't actually gone through and compared this to other previous ones, but typically speaking, this is pretty poor. Let's say that's going to give you roughly 2 sacred shards worth, something like that. 30 sacred shards for a Roxam. And yeah, you're going to get a few bits along the way, but we're skipping most of the good rewards. You're basically going to get 1 legendary tome, 1 eternal soulstone, 1 immortal soulstone, and that's sort of it. A few anniversary or a few UDK points. Is Roxam worth 30 sacred shards? The answer is no. I always got in trouble at the time for saying Elva was definitely, in my opinion, worth 20 sacred shards. And in hindsight, I absolutely stand by that. In fact, I was more right than I realized at the time, because everyone was so against it, and that was sort of biasing me a bit. Elva is one of the best champions from sacred and ancient shards in the game. So 20 sacreds for her is well worth it. Roxam, on the other hand, is a extremely mediocre champion, and he is now costing 10 sacreds more. Like, who has 30 sacred shards? And who is going to be investing them for a mediocre champion? Like, honestly, to cost 30 sacreds, this needs to be a top tier champion, Maybe if they did it right now for Trunda, seeing as she's bugged with Hydra Clash, I could see that happening. 30 sacred, I don't know. There's so few champions that are even worth that much. It's just too much. The problem is that if you just pull those 30 sacreds, like for playing, 2x events when you're low on mercy, pull them in maybe a 10x event when you're right at mercy, or save them for double legendary events, you would get way more legendaries than pulling them here for this. And likely they would be better quality than Roxam, because he's just not a very high quality champion. I think he has maybe some potential for mischief tanking and Hydra, but it's just not something that's particularly valuable, honestly, and it's a pretty big question mark. So would I recommend this event for getting Roxam? No, absolutely not. I think it's honestly genuinely terrible. So forget about that. Now, what other paths could we do? Here's another idea. What if we wanted to just get all of the UDK anniversary points? Unfortunately, they're a little bit all over the place. You got to sort of dip through 3 different paths. This would get you all the anniversary points. So there's 20, 80, 150, 250 points, right? There's 250 UDK points up for grabs. Now, here's the thing. If you skip all of these, you can skip nothing if you want all of the rewards. So if you want all the way up to milestone 5, there's 1750 points total. This is 1,500 points. There's 250 you can miss. So if you skip all of these, you can skip nothing else for the 2 weeks if you want to get it. My opinion, look, the barrel, the skill tome, the eternal soulstone are pretty good, but would I be putting myself out of the way to get them? No, I don't think so. For me, the priority is definitely getting the 4-star split still for Ultimate Death Knight. So long as you have Ultimate Death Knight, even if you don't, like, just the potential to pull him because he's such a great champion, and there's the possibility they could do some sort of promotion for him in the future. Maybe. I really think getting the split soul is really valuable. I think this is really valuable. It could take you forever to get him. Like, since Awakening has come out, I have a 1-star Death Knight, which I bought in the shop, right? I have the 1-star. So getting him up to 4-star is a pretty big deal and makes a big difference. It's very strong and it puts you in position to go to 5 and 6-star eventually. But yeah, this is going to be, it's a little expensive as well. Here's the thing. So red, it's 7,100 for the left path, 7,100 for the right path, and then 21,800 for the middle path. So you're definitely probably better off going down sorry, it's 7,600 for the middle path. So the middle path is probably actually the best one. You're going to come away with 90 points compared to 80 from the two sides. Doesn't make much difference, honestly. They're all actually, now I think about it, pretty much the same. 21,800 total, though. That is going to be, if we do 21,800, we divide it by 4,500, 4.8. 4.8 sacred shards to grab all of this. I mean, is it worth it? The other rewards you're getting are fairly negligible. They're not really doing anything. So do you want to trade in 4 sacreds for the opportunity to do other events so you could get these particular rewards? Would you trade 4 sacreds for this? Honestly, it's not the worst, actually. For an Eternal Soulstone, a Legendary Skill Tome, and a Barrel, 4, 5, or 5 Sacreds might be somewhat worth it. That's something to consider. If you've got spare, if you've got excess, it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing. And you're going in and you've got a small chance, obviously, with the 10x to get some okay champions. So I think it's something you could do, but I wouldn't be rushing out for it, basically. But it's something worth considering. Just to give you flexibility for if there's even worse events during this UDK thing and you really want to do it, you know, maybe. It's not that expensive. And you're going to get a chunk of this from Dungeon Divers as well. So that will help somewhat if you're going to do some Dungeon Divers. So that's an option. Red path's an option. And we also have the teal path. I thought this would be interesting to break down. This is basically going for all the legendary books. And this is roughly how it breaks down. So we have 23,000 points for this left-hand path. 25,000 for the right-hand path, then 34,600 for this middle path, giving you a total of 80,600, which is about 18 sacred shards worth. For 4 legendary skill tomes, it's fairly comparable, honestly, to your typical summon rush. So I would say not really that great. You'd probably be better off, I would say, generally speaking, you know, looking at the next fusion, you're probably going to have to pull for Summon Rush. Just keep going in that Summon Rush, right? If you're going to have to pull 5 Sacreds anyway for Summon Rush, it might be another 10 Sacreds to get 2 or 3 Legendary books out of it. You're probably better just doing that. Waiting for Fusion Summon Rushes where you're pulling shards anyway and you're sort of a third of the way there, and then just go further. And maybe you make the Fusion a good bit easier. So I'd be tending to save for that, or saving for extra Legendary events, or good guaranteed events in the future. This is not a good guaranteed event, unfortunately. Save for good ones, like Michinaki Caliber or Elva Caliber. Yeah, for me, this is very underwhelming. We're, by the way, going to have probably Champ Chase with Void Shards during the next fusion. So I would be very reluctant to pull Void Shards here. I think you're better saving those for the fusion. And again, you know, pulling Sacreds now, you might put yourself in a risk for the fusion. So I'm very unimpressed with this. Like I said, for me, I would, unless you really, really want legendary books, I don't even think it's particularly good. For me, the only thing that looks even semi-good is I won't even call it semi-good. The only thing that's really a consideration, honestly, for doing this event, unless you're a big whale or big kraken, is maybe grab the UDK points. But for me, it's something I'll consider maybe on Sunday. I'll go, okay, how much did I get from Dungeon Divers? All right, cool. Will I pull like 2 or 3 sacreds to grab these? And then I might, because like I said, there's okay 10x event stuff on, and yeah, I mean, like, the Eternal Soulstone is nice for some of those events. I don't know. It's not even that worth it. Feel free to skip this one, is sort of my honest opinion. If you skip the whole thing, I don't think you're going to feel too bad. But sort of wait till Sunday to make your final decision and just see how many points you've got from just getting artifacts along the way. You might be close to grabbing the points here. So that's probably what I would do. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was helpful. I will point out, 100 of these medium oils is not bad either. Like, that's not bad. So you could go for this red path and then grab those oils. I think that's kind of nice to save yourself some grinding, but again, really not essential, especially not if it's going to cost you shards. Anyway, look, there we are. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time. Goodbye.